Hello, I'm Heewon Seo, a PhD researcher in philosophy at the Institute of Education, University College London. Today, I'm happy to discuss my paper between Buddhas and the digital player, Paradoxes of Eros. I'd like to begin with a sentence by Anne Carson, my favorite poet. She writes, "When you fall in love, you feel all sorts of sensation inside you, painful and pleasant at once. It is your wings sprouting. It is the beginning of what you meant to be." This image of wings sprouting comes from Plato's Phaedrus, where the soul, stung by beauty, both suffers and rejoices at once. Love wounds, but it also awakens. Eros, from the beginning, is paradoxical. With this in mind, my paper turns to the sirens of Greek mythology and the two ships that famously resisted their song, the Argo in the Argonautica and Odysseus' ships in the Odyssey. Each ship carries a hero. On the Argo, there is Orpheus, whose music overwhelms the siren song. On Odysseus' ship, Odysseus binds himself to the mast while sealing his crew's ears with wax, so he may hear beauty without surrendering to it. So both survive and both return home. But the Argonautica also tells us another figure almost forgotten. His name is Buddhas. While Orpheus plays and the other rides, Buddhas alone throws down his oars and leaps into the sea. His soul melted by the siren's voice. He knows the danger. He leaps anyway. Paul Standish, drawing on Plato's Cratylus, reminds us that Eros is linked not only to desire, but to eruption, to questioning. So Eros is not merely sexual, it is the force that put our life into question. Orpheus and Odysseus each respond to beauty through control, through art, strategy, restraint. Buddhas respond differently. As Pascal Quignard writes in Buddhas, Buddhas is not the hero. He does not resist. He does not calculate. He abandoned himself entirely to beauty, even at the risk of death. Quignard distinguished between two kinds of music. The music of salvation, which binds a community together and drives towards a goal, and the music of ruin, which makes one lose one's way. So Buddha's Quignard suggests belongs to the second. He does not seek safety. He does not fear suffering. He let himself be undone. And this matters today. We live in an area what is called romantic abundance. Dating apps, AI companions, and virtual realities promise endless choice, efficiency, and safety in life. I call the figures who navigate love this way digital players who pursue convenient life, safe thrills, and modulated desire. To be clear, my argument does not arise from a nostalgic longing for a pre-digital past, nor from a retrospective rejection of technology at all. They can expand access, enable intimacy, and create spaces for new encounter. Even falling in love with AI can offer a rare freedom to speak without fear. The risk avoided in Eros today is not only the risk of heartbreak, but risk of commitment, the patience required to sustain love over time, the discomfort of sharing depth, and the vulnerability involved in remaining with difference. So it is the risk of waiting, of misunderstanding, of being unsettled by the other, and perhaps most profoundly, the risk of losing oneself in love rather than managing oneself efficiently. Byung-Chul Han traces it to neoliberal positivity in an economy structure around efficiency, instant satisfaction, and self-optimization. These dimensions of Eros appears increasingly intolerable. Love is thus reshaped into something controllable, reversible, and safe, something that promises connection without the danger of dispossession. So, for example, Stefan Michel calls this risk-free desire. Eros, however, is never safe. As Han argues, Eros involves a free-willed evocation of the self. It confronts us with what we cannot control and what we cannot optimize. It introduces negativity, delay, loss, uncertainty, and through this, it frees us from narcissism. And Carson called Eros bittersweet. Love wounds the ego and it reveals what we lack. And only through this wound do we begin to understand who we are and who we might become. In this sense, Eros is a form of education. I therefore suggest that education should normally train individuals to manage desire safely or pursue achievement efficiently. It should invite them at times to risk themselves, to listen to the sirens, to lead like Buddhas towards what calls them, even when the outcome is uncertain. This is not the education of heroes escaping Plato's cave. It is the education of ordinary beings who allow themselves to be undone by what they love. So, and perhaps that is why Buddha survives. After he plunges into the sea, the goddess of love, Cyprus, rescues him. He begins a life he could never have imagined. Eros dismantles his past and opens a future that was not planned. Eros does not guarantee safety, but it opens us to transformation. Thank you.